Hello there everybody, Saban92 and you know what I'd like? Whenever it takes YouTube approximately almost an entire day to upload one video and it's stuck perpetually about 80% uploaded and I had to literally reset the upload to get it all the way up to actually, upload like it's supposed to. And you know what else I like? When apparently I ended 5 minutes away from an ending. Yeah, apparently. And I feel stupid for that. So let's just get on to this. And by the way, yes, this is not going to be a 5-minute video. That'd be stupid. I took a deep breath. Turning back, I was met by the sight of Eve kneeling at Adam's side. His arms seemed to have finally returned to normal. Raziel, apparently having escaped her cage of lightning, stood behind her. Everyone solemnly stared at the spot where Metatron drew his last breath. Not really, no. We gotta go save, Sormi.
Yeah.
And just by the fact that apparently there's only like 5 or 10 minutes left, I'm guessing I got a bad ending, which, if it is, I'm gonna be pissed. There was still one thing left for us to do. Maybe two. I glanced around myself. Messenger suddenly appeared in front of our eyes, almost as if she had been standing in that place invisible the entire time. She looked fainter than before, with the white of her kimono and hair blending with the pallid scenery of the empty world. Which, if this turns out to be a bad end, that is pretty stupid, leaving a bad end to possibly one of the more emotional sort of decisions. That'd be stupid. She silently shook her head. She silently shook her head again. Messenger gave me a cheerful smile. Messenger stole a glance at Adam. I answered without hesitation. I could hear Raziel whisper a quick, "How bold," behind me, chuckling. Messenger chuckled again and raised her hands in mock resignation. And with that, she took the shape of thunder and shot somewhere beyond our sight. All would come to an end once I got Sormi back, or so I hoped at least. With Metatron and God dead, the severed future should return back to our withered present, with revitalizing it. Still, I couldn't shake off a bad feeling gnawing at my heart. We might have fixed the world in a way, but we failed to grasp the full reason behind its fall, and so history would likely repeat itself in time. That creeping anxiety prevented my mind from being fully at ease. A voice woke me up from my slumber. I glanced around myself. There she was. Sormi, with Messenger at her side, was considering us with a timid look. Her countenance reflected none of its former energy. For some reason, she didn't seem too happy to see us. My words caused Sormi to tear up. She nonetheless ran straight towards me with a smile on her face, making it almost appear like she was crying out of relief rather than sorrow. She was closing in on me with frantic steps. I couldn't bear to wait and proceeded onwards as well. And she tripped. Instantly accelerating, I darted forward and caught her before she hit the ground. Pretty sure?
ちょっと変で楽しくて綺麗な目をしている男の子。
かっこよくはないが変ではないと僕としては主張したい。
そこは訂正するんだ。
Sormi raised her face with a chuckle. After an initial shiver ran down her body, she finally let her head rest against my chest.
怖かった。もう会えないかと思った。
That'd be a pretty cruel joke if it happened to be a dream.
自分をつねったら痛かったし、戦っている時も痛かったから、多分夢じゃないだろうな。
私とキスしたの覚えてる？
Yep.
屋上で。ここだけの話、僕はあの時酔っていなかった。
知ってたよ、そんなこと。
Sormi, tears welling in her eyes again, let out a few muffled sobs.
泣いていいかな？
Sure. I considered my answer for a few seconds.
状況が状況だっただけに仕方ないとは思うけど、できれば僕は君の泣き顔は見たくないんだ。
Aw.
でもごめん、泣いちゃう。だって嬉しくて嬉しくて会いたかった。ずっと会いたかった。
I could feel the warmth of her tears run through the dampening fabric of my shirt. I stroked her hair, whispering into her ear that it'd be all right.
いろいろあってすごくショックなことがたくさんあって、私なんて空っぽの存在だって思わされた。
君は空っぽなんかじゃない。
刹那との思い出だけが私の全てだったの。だから
And so she cried. She cried ceaselessly without any hint of stopping. I just continued to stroke her hair in silence. I knew it was the only thing I could do to assuage her fears. Eventually, her shoulders stopped trembling and her sobs ceased. Whoops. She raised her face from my chest and, as if having returned from a dive underwater, she took a starved breath.
終わったの？
Hope so? She glanced at Messenger.
ラジエル、メッセンジャーの大群はどうすればいい？
Or is this the good ending? Raziel hesitated. It seemed she herself wasn't sure of the course of action we should take.
とりあえず縛るかな。
Yeah, I guess that's an idea.
だそうだ。おとなしくバクについてくれるだろうか。
Messenger slowly shook her head. Apparently she'd decided to fight in the end. But as I raised my sword, she suddenly raised her hands up into the air.
仕方ありませんね。あなたたちだけならともかく、リリスが来た時点でもう終わりですか？
Wait, Lilith's here? Lilith? I turned around to see Lilith closing in on us in her usually leisurely gait.
おはろー、元気そうで何よりね。
Yeah, how you doing? Lilith glanced at Adam and Eve, but ignoring them in the end, smiled at Sormi and me.
あれ？リリスって私たちのこときれいさっぱり忘れているんじゃないの？忘れてたわ。まあでも大丈夫。メタトロンの死がきっかけでほぼ全部思い出せた。よく頑張ったわね、セツナ。
大したことをしたわけじゃないさ。
大したことよ。あの神に最も近かった大天使を打ち果たすなんてね。あ、で、ちょっと聞きたいんだけど。
What's that? Lilith's smile vanished and she considered us with serious eyes.
あなたたちこれからどうするの？空見は未来に帰らなきゃいけないとしても、セツナは？
Wait, what?
私ここにいちゃいけないの？いちゃいけないじゃなくて、いられないという方が正解かしら。メタトロンが死に 過去と現在と未来がつながり始めたの。空見は未来の存在だから、このままここにいても存在が未来に引っ張られてしまうわ。下手するとプチンよ。
What?
プチンって何が？あなたの体が
But
怖いよ。
yeah.
そうだから、空見は未来に帰還することが確定。さて、刹那はどうするのかしら。
I guess stay with Sormi?
そんなの聞くまでもないよね。
I turned back to see a beaming Sormi as she hugged my arm. Behind that smile, though, she seemed to be shaking all over, probably from fear.
約束したでしょ、一緒にいてくれるって。
Yeah. Indeed we did. I'd promised I'd find her race on Dare for her. I couldn't go against my word and let a girl who still don't know what she was living for to wander the world alone.
そうだね。
I smiled. I let out an affectionate hug. Or laugh. Whoops. How the fuck did I forgot how to fucking English, apparently. It was alright. As long as she had a smile on her lips, it was alright.
あらまあ、そんな約束してたのね。だったら仕方ないわ。問答無用で未来に行きなさい。たとえどんな運命が待ち受けているにしろね。
The hint of sadness in her words pierced my heart like a knife.
どうしたの？
なんでもない。行こう、空見。君の世界へ。君の未来へ。
Whoa. To avoid accidentally separating from Sormi, uneasiness still lingering on her face, I squeezed tight on her hand. I shall commit my life to you. All of my existence shall exist solely for you. Without a single glance backwards, leaving both the present and the past behind, we pressed forward to the future, together. Though as the doors were just about to close, I alone stole a quick look behind, glimpsing Lilith seeing us off with sorrow in her eyes. Everything grew dark as the two worlds separated. Sormi tugged on my sleeve.
多分あっちじゃないかな。
I saw a light in the direction she indicated. Letting her take the lead was probably a good idea in a place like this. I let go of the past. I let go of the present. An unknown world waited for us beyond this point. But there were two things I knew. One, that I had to be at her side forever, wherever we'd end up at. Second, that the future we were heading to had no real hope. Dependency. To sum it up, the girl grew over-dependent on the boy. She ended up choosing to exist solely for his sake. She would do everything for him. The boy unfortunately didn't want much. And so their days would pass by with her pleading for him to ask things of her, and him refusing. She wanted him to share everything with her. She wanted him to ask everything of her. To grant his wishes and give him everything of herself was her raison d'etre. And as she declared so with an innocent smile on her face, the two fell into a quagmire of indolence.
ねえ、何をしてほしいの？
She rubbed her face against his neck. Almost like a dog, she snickered to herself. Though maybe being his dog wouldn't be that
何で
bad.
もするよ。本当に何でもするんだから。あなたがしたいこと、全部何でもするの。
Are you fucking serious? This is a bad end? The boy gave her a melancholic smile and stroked her hair. Then he slowly shook his head. She nibbled at the boy's neck.
だって約束したでしょ。私の生きるべき道を探してくれるって。私分かったんだよ。あなたとずっと一緒にいる。あなたから決して離れないし、あなたから与えられるものは何でもいただくの。
She knew full well he didn't have long. She knew she was being selfish. But what of it?
お願い、一生のお願い、死なないでよ。お願いだから死なないで。何でもするから。
You know, I just realized none of the endings are going to be happy because Setsuna dies. Her eyes teared up. The boy's face contorted in sorrow.
私はあなたがいないと生きていけない。
The girl lived for the boy, and for the boy alone. The memories of the time they shared only strengthened her feelings. She was in the wrong. She understood that herself well enough. But she didn't care, or rather she could do nothing about it.
私あなたが死んだら生きていけない。
Not a figure of speech, but a cold fact. She was so dependent on the boy her very life hung on his precarious survival. It wasn't a question of suicide. Her heart would die the instant the boy disappeared from her world.
ごめんなさい。変なこと言ってごめんなさい。でも、だって、やだよ。死なないでよ。死んじゃやだよ。お願い。お願い。お願いだから。
Oh my god. His body trembled once as he tried to calm down the sniffling girl, but before he could embrace her, his joints fell apart, rendering him immobile. Ugh! His hand that had been stroking the girl's hair up until now slid down her body and collapsed onto the bed. Realizing that something was wrong, the girl raised her face. She couldn't help asking despite knowing the answer. The boy made an apologetic smile and, silently cursing himself for leading her to this end, left this world. Fuck! She understood full well what had happened, but she still chose to hang on to a false hope instead.
ねえ、起きてよ。何でもするよ。私、何でもするんだから。
No matter how much she shook him, the fire of life did not return to his eyes. Still, the girl refused to acknowledge the solemn truth. The girl wasn't afraid of hitting rock bottom. Neither was she afraid of death. Only being separated from her love truly terrified her still. And when that fated moment finally descended upon her, even that fear got scared and fled away. Her feelings weren't that of love. The importance of the person in her heart transcended any such emotion at this point. With him gone, she simply could not continue living. Her whole short life existed solely for him. Without him, it had lost its meaning. His death was the end of everything for her, including her own existence. Oh my god, now. Ugh. And so the girl refused to continue on living. She fell asleep at his side, never to awaken again. Eternal sleep and death. Weren't the two in the end one and the same? There was no one left to give an answer. Fucking hell! That was a bad end. That was a fucking... What the hell am I even supposed to look at when I was told to... Ending list, okay. Raziel, True End, Promise, Raziel, Bad End, Eternal Journey. Sormi, Bad End, Shackles of the Soul. Oh my... Oh my god, there's actually a lot of endings here. I'm guessing there's 2 for Sormi, 2 for Raziel, and 2 for Lilith. Well, fuck me, that was... Although I can see the logic in it. Growing dependent on him. So that's what it meant when he said he warped her raison d'are. Oh my god. Why is it that usually... Oh my god, I let myself be ruled by emotions. That's never a good thing. So now I'm basically going to make myself feel like shit and give her the cold shoulder. I could have consoled her. I could have gently uttered that I'd find a raison d'are for her. But that was not the way. That was one thing I should never do.
どうしたらいいかわからないんだね。空見。
Putting all my mental effort into coming up with a phrasing that would hurt her least, I
そ
continued.
れは僕にもどうすることもできないだろう。空見、君は自分で考えるしかない。
How is that giving her the cold shoulder? A raison d'are provided by another was no raison d'are at all. Others might provide guidance, but it was always you that had to grasp it in the end by your own hands. I'm a fucking moron!
でも、だって、私はまだ生まれてから、
Well, now I know of the oh great, now I probably already know how the true end's gonna go, because there's not allowed to be a happy fucking end.
僕だって大して長い時間を生きているわけじゃないよ。僕も君と同じだ。僕を産んだのは母親ではなく試験官だ。
I steeled my heart. It was about time I told her the truth of my compressed life. Oh. Their voices buzzed in my ear like a swarm of insects. Enough. Quiet down. I clearly remember being overcome by such negative emotions. As an infant, I was made into an exhibition to be gawked at by people in a pure white room that took almost care to maintain hygiene, almost to an unnatural degree. White, white, white as far as I could see, nothing more. Just white. I despised that color. That was another thing that crossed my mind at the time. I possessed clear, ordered, logical thoughts, hardly a feat common in newborn children. But I was special. I was chosen by the people of this world. As far as parallel worlds were concerned, mine was exceptionally heretical. There existed worlds ruled by dinosaurs, others by mankind. Some fell victim to nuclear warfare, others to natural disasters. Some even advanced their technology far enough to make successful voyages to the far depths of space. Yet all of those worlds had one common characteristic: faith. Wait a minute. Haven't I already done this one? No, wait, no! Fuck! Hold on. Jump. Ah, I was right. It was... Okay, good. I had read it. Okay. God, I'm an idiot.
目を覚ませ、くぐつ空見。君は自分の名前を選んだ。自分の人生を生きている。誰が何と言おうと、それは変わりのない事実だ。
Okay, so I've actually did read that. Okay, good. Okay, I'm an idiot.
今君は脅かされている。それは君の責任じゃない。助けを求める権利があり、僕はそれに応えよう。だが、生きる理由は君が探すべきだ。生きてくれ、空見。なんていうか、君に泣き顔は似合わない。
Sormi fell silent, lowered her head, shook it a few times, and then raised it again to face me, a few tears still twinkling on her eyelashes.
自分で探してみる。そっか、そうだよね。他人に押し付けられた理由はやっぱりダメだ。
I'm such a freaking moron. Sormi wiped her tears off with her sleeve and gave me a reassuring smile. The air of resignation no longer seemed to taint it.
刹那と話せてよかった。
助けに行く。必ず君を救ってみせる。
She gave me a smile through her tears.
ごめん。他にもいろいろといっぱいいろいろ言うことはあったはずなんだけど、言葉にならないや。全部忘れちゃった。
いいよ、ゆっくりで。僕は君が無事であれば助けに行くだけだから。
刹那。
Sormi placed her hand on her chest and gave me a beaming smile.
待ってる。
God, I'm a freaking moron. And so I blinked once and realized Sormi had turned back to Messenger.
いかがでしたか?
Well, let's see. Is this going to be any changed at all? Holy shit! That was going to be something we already witnessed. Well then, this makes things a little easier. Meeting Setsuna just for a brief moment allowed me to return to my usual carefree self. I astonished even myself with how easy I could be at sometimes. Still, seeing him reduced my uneasiness significantly, though I still couldn't quite shake off my feeling of inadequacy. I just existed. The fact that I never really lived still weighed heavy on my heart. Still, Setsuna told me to think for myself. That I had to come up with an answer of my own. He also confessed his past to me, the memories that doubtlessly brought him nothing but pain. I haven't lived for a single year. That was the truth, so looking for my raison d'être in the past would likely prove futile. If there was one thing I realized through all this time of pondering, it was that I wanted to be together with him, with Tendou Setsuna. I couldn't contain the creepy giggle from escaping my lips. Still, the embarrassing display made me feel better at the same time. It seemed that I at least had the right to live. Oddly enough, the fact that I was looking for a reason to live right now made me completely forget my recent wish to die. I would live. I now had to figure out a means of doing that. I thought such an approach suited me a lot better than silently sulking in the corner.
未来はたくさんあるんだから。
I aimed the remark at myself, but a particular angel decided to follow up on it instead.
いいえ、違います。
Messenger regarded me with a blood-freezing smirk on her lips. Unable to utter a sound, I unconsciously took a step back.
天童刹那との会話は良くも悪くもあなたの生きるべき理由を見出せたようですが、まだ見つけてないけど。いいえ、あなた自身が見つける必要はありませんよ。
I blinked once and she was no longer there.
あなたの存在する意味も。
Oh, this is how they're probably gonna brainwash her. A whisper came from the very tip of my ear. I turned around to see her tracing her hand against my hair with a smile on her face. Overcome with revulsion and fear, I couldn't move an inch. All I could do was watch her face in quiet horror.
あなたは未来を確定し、統一させる。もう、あまたの平行世界など二度と誕生しないように。それも、あなたの役割です。
To get rid of another multiverse?
違う。少なくとも私はそんなこと望んでなんかない。天童刹那を幸せにしてあげたいとは思いませんか？え？
Well, of course I do.
彼は自分の過去を告げましたが、一つだけ隠している事実があります。彼の人生はバカバカしいほどに短い。え？天童刹那。
The world in front of my eyes turned to black with Messenger's words.
彼の運命です。
No, I wouldn't allow it. I couldn't allow it. Setsuna couldn't give in to a fate like that.
救いたいでしょ？
I want to. I really want to, but...
未来を決めましょう。あなたが望む未来がきっとあるはず。その未来だけを救い上げて、他は潰してしまいましょう。
Oh, you manipulative little bitch. But that would be...
そうでもしなければ救われませんよ。
perish. I would survive, but not Setsuna? No, I didn't want that. I refused to acknowledge that. I mean, Setsuna has to have a right to be happy.
100億の人間を見殺しにしたの。
That was untrue. It wasn't his fault. Who forced all that responsibility on him in the first place? Those 10 billion people themselves.
でも彼はそう思い込んでいる。そう思い込み幸せになるまいとしている。そしてもちろんその代償をきちんと支払おうとしている。それはだからいかなる未来においても彼が救われることはない。でも過去と切り離された未来ならどうでしょうか。過去と切り離されたならば彼は代償を支払わずに済む。
You are really screwing with her right now.
彼を連れて行けばいい。新しい世界のアダムとして。私
I felt lightheaded. I couldn't tell if her words rang true or if they sought to trick me to commit a terrible mistake. I think they are.
もう眠りなさい。次に目覚めた時、何もかもが始まる。そして終わっていることでしょう。
Yeah, this is Rose because she's gonna be mentally controlled, I bet. Future. A single future that you could not bend. A future where all you could do was walk straight forward. But it was also the only future that blessed him with life. If all that had waited for me was pain, I could have found a way to deal with despair. Maybe I would have chosen death, or enduring it gritting my teeth. Yet Messenger offered me a peaceful future full of bliss instead, a world where even Tendao Setsuna could find happiness for himself. I ended up wishing for such a future. Alright. Skip. Jump to an unread part, please.
Sorami!
Holy shit! I am not gonna have to go through that fight again. Thank you. She didn't answer. She gave me a questioning look of such candor that it seemed to forbid the idea of talking back or trying to deceive.
ねえ、メッセンジャーに聞いたの。
Oh. Okay.
せつな、本当にもうすぐ死ぬの？
My blood froze. She could probably tell the answer from the petrified look on my face quite easily. Even if I tried coming up with a clever lie now, she'd likely see through it. Her face twisted in sorrow. Stormy cried out to me in a tearful voice.
やだよ、やだよ、死なないでよ。せつなが死ぬならそんな未来いらない、必要ない。
それは違うよ、空に。
I clenched my fists. I could feel my arms tremble, but at this point I lacked the power to make them stop.
死ぬのは怖い。もうすぐ死ぬというならなおさらだ。でもそれはおそらく変えられないことなんだ。
Because nobody is allowed to be happy.
でも死ぬ前に何かをなすことができた。空見を助けることができたんだ。
The future contained infinite possibilities only when viewed from a general scale. I myself had very little time left, and could do nothing to change the fact. Nonetheless, I managed to choose a future of my own design at least. I saved Sorami and freed the world. And so I was no longer afraid of whatever awaited me.
僕は明日死ぬとしても、僕が僕なりに精一杯やったことを誇って死にたい。
行きたくないの？
生きたい。だけど己の過去を捨て去ることはできない。
That was one thing I couldn't do. I didn't want anyone to deny my roots, regardless of how short my life was. I knew I was being selfish. I knew I was being vain.
僕は君のことが好きだから、好きになったから、過去を変えたくなどない。
I couldn't deny the affection that sprouted within my heart, and so unable to reject it, I embraced it with every fiber of my being. Even if all that awaited me beyond that choice was tragedy, even if my affection would only hurt her, my feelings for her were the one thing I refused to discard.
空見、おいで。
My words caused Stormy to tear up. She nonetheless ran straight towards me with a smile on her face, making it almost appear like she was crying out of relief rather than sorrow. She was closing it. Okay, I'm guessing it's going to be the same. She's gonna trip. Called it. Ah, she tripped. Instantly accelerating, I darted forward and caught her before she hit the ground. Okay. We already know what's gonna happen.
バッグに着く前に少しお話ししておきたいことがあります。皆さんすっきりとした解決を見たいでしょ？
We're doing a lot of jumping, honestly, though. Could you... Oh. Oh, this is before we get up the idea of tying her up. Okay.
すっきりとした解決。ええ。イブ、アダムにはまだ言ってないのですね。
Oh, great.
やめて。
Eve's countenance twisted into a mask of terror.
アダム、あなたは。やめて。お願いだから。やめて。
Messenger continued with a smile.
やめません。私の役割ですから。これがアダム、そして天道刹那。あなたたちは共に最初に出会った時から奇妙な反発を感じたでしょ？
Oh, screw you, Messenger. She suddenly asked us a peculiar question.
ああ。それがどうして？
それは同族嫌悪です。いえ、同種嫌悪とでも申しましょうか。アダム、あなたの基礎設計部分は天道刹那を元にしています。
What?
何？
ありていに申してしまえば、あなたは天道刹那の模造品です。今となっては劣化コピーと称した方がふさわしいかしら。
fucking excuse me?
俺が天道刹那の
Impossible. It hadn't been that long since I found my way to Tokyo Babel. They had to have been working on Adam long before I came. I wanted to tell her it was ridiculous, but seeing the expression on Eve's look took my confidence away. Eve, her eyes cold as ice, glared at Messenger.
それは私とイブしか知らないこと。ラジエル、あなたも驚いているでしょう。そんなバカな。アダムの肉体はちゃんと準備していたはず。それは廃棄しました。ああ、心臓だけは使わせていただきましたが、心だけは複製できませんからね。なぜ？どうしてそんなことを？動機が不明。わからなさすぎる。ええ、そうでしょうね。だってこれは復讐のためですもの。彼女の可愛らしい復讐ですわ。
What?
復讐？
Revenge?
ええ、この世すべてが滅んでしまえという可愛らしい復讐です。この世すべてが滅んで？ええ、そんな可愛らしいお願いのために彼女は震災を起こしたのですよ。
What? It took a couple of seconds for everyone to comprehend what she had said. Eve remained silent, hanging her head.
イブが震災を。
Huh?
イブさん。
Everyone turned their eyes to Eve. Slowly, she raised her head. Smiling? She looked at us as if we were bugs, a scornful smirk on her lips. To put it simply, our play today was a tale of hatred nestled in the heart of a woman called Eve.
この果実を食べれば世界の真実が見えるかもよ。
A snake tempted her. Her heart lit up with naive curiosity to know more about the world, to know the truth. She thought knowledge would help her get closer to God, to revere him better. Yet the first thing she understood after taking a bite was that she would have been so much happier had she never touched the accursed fruit. Ah, Lord, forgive her. She had a fight with Adam, then got banished from that insipid paradise. But once she started journeying the world, she realized that her feelings of regret waned with every step. What was the point of living while being looked down upon like an animal? She wouldn't have been able to bear it. She could devote herself to the Lord, her father, but she didn't want him to supervise all of her life. Vanity? Maybe. But without it, there would be no mankind. She didn't regret it. She felt nostalgic about paradise, but she didn't really want to go back and live there again. Unfortunately, she was slightly different from all other men that walked the earth in her wake. She was eternal. Even after Adam had died from old age, she continued living, as young as ever. And after the countless years she spent treading the earth's soil, a single dark emotion eventually took root in her heart. Hatred. She hated it all. She hated everything. She wanted to destroy it. To destroy the whole world. She hated herself for having lost her ability to appreciate beauty. She resented her children for their ability to still find joy in the ephemeral. Eternal life, eternal youth. Some men dreamed about it, seeking it for themselves. How she wanted to tell the fools how wretched eternal life truly was. After a while, she grew to hate even her own children. A voice kept whispering in her heart that there was something wrong, that the world was wrong, that mankind was wrong, that God was wrong. Men lived their short lives to the fullest, while God, angels, and demons lived their eternal lives in indolence. She couldn't live like her children, whose lives were mere petals in the wind. She couldn't live like the eternal beings that by nature were idle. Then how was she supposed to live? But was she anyway? The first woman? Then why couldn't she die already? She lived with no real passion. She walked forward, hatred simmering in her heart, and also apparently wearing a miniskirt while having a tattered cloak. She hated, despised everything. She wanted it all to fall apart. She wanted to destroy the world. No, that wasn't enough. Not even close. She wanted for everything, heaven, hell, purgatory, earth, to burn to ashes. For the first 100 years, she wrestled with the idea in her mind. For the next 100 years, she considered how she could implement it. She didn't age, she was immortal, but at the same time, she was utterly powerless. She didn't stand a chance against angels or demons in a battle, and so she spent a tremendous amount of time in thought. This was how she, in essence, spent her eternal life, past the point of being cast away from paradise. One day she chanced upon a book, the Sefer Raziel, the cradle of knowledge that Adam himself once read. As far as she knew, its author, Archangel Raziel, was currently searching for this very volume. Eve, with some help from Astaroth, eventually managed to break Raziel's code. She thought the book might contain a hint as to a weakness of the divine. And she was right. She found everything in the book, the torment of eternity, and that neither angels nor demons had yet realized what it truly meant. Her objective was to make them comprehend eternity, and she knew how. The forbidden fruit of the tree of life. If a human ate it, he would gain immortality. Yet for angels that were immortal to begin with, the cursed fruit would only make them reevaluate the true meaning of their eternal existence. Okay, angels were free from the torment of eternity, primarily because their concept of eternal life was different from that of mortals. Men by nature could not endure eternity and eternal continuation. There was no bigger curse for a mortal than to live forever. What about angels? Could they endure eternity, or couldn't they? It wouldn't hurt to at least try and see. Finally, Eve gave in to the devil's temptation. After all, she had nothing to lose. To make them comprehend eternity, the idea charmed her, for it was a fitting revenge, and to make them have a taste of their own medicine. The effect exceeded her wildest expectations. All angels were driven to insanity. She understood. Her own death no longer mattered to Eve. All she cared about was her scheme, and how she could most effectively lay waste to the world. This was all a play of hatred, an aria of revenge sung by a girl forsaken by the world.
できると思ったのです。あのお方ですら、あっけなく精神を破綻させたのですから。
So you did it.
あなたが。ええ。神を汚染し、破綻させたのも私。神を媒介として天使を汚染させたのも私。ただ予想外だったのはコーラスでしょうか。
Huh. Yeah, I was starting to actually like you, but I can kind of, well, Considering your past, honestly, yeah, I get it.
それは予想を上回る戦果というだけ。天国は閉鎖され、生き残った天使たちは絶望にうめいた。
The ultimate revenge.
平行世界は打ち壊されていった。
Eve, a faint smile on her face,
あの
continued.
天使たちの歌はより面白く、円滑にことが運ぶようにしてくれました。
To my horror, she didn't seem any different from usual. She continued smiling like always, like on that day when we were out together on a picnic. Showing little emotion, she continued her
ミ
confession.
カエルによって東京バベルが作られたことだけは誤算でしたけれど。
Archangel Michael sacrificed his life to give birth to Tokyo Babel, and with the most charismatic of angels gone, the confusion grew worse. Everything went so smoothly, almost frighteningly so.
私は再び天使たちに呼び戻され、共にアダムを製造することになりました。
She knew Adam better than anyone else, and the angels hoped to use that expertise to better their creation.
笑わせますわね。私はアダムのことなど何も知らないというのに。
Adam never cared about anyone other than God. He treated Eve, his former rib, like a doll made of flesh at
ま
best.
して神を元通りにするための人間を作るなんて、私にはとても我慢ならないことでした。
So she decided to make a doll that would instead help her in her schemes. The angels made a heart, chose the body, and infused it with power. Eve's role consisted of but the final adjustments and the finishing touch. At the same time, though, it meant that they ended up handing her the nearly finished product without suspecting her true intentions. And so she added something special to their design.
アダム、あなたは私の奴隷。肉人形にしか過ぎない。
Damn. Adam, with no hint of anger or sorrow on his countenance, considered Eve in silence. Paying no heed to him whatsoever, she continued.
例えば、私がこう言ったらどうなると思います？アダム、ひざまずいてくれませんか？
Adam fell to his knees with a groan. Eve smiled to herself and, closing on Adam, cupped his chin in her hand.
自分の体が自分の思う通りに動かない気分はどうですか？アダム。
You're a damn good actress. Adam remained silent, displaying not a hint of humiliation. He continued to stare at Eve. Eve let go of Adam's chin, irritated.
イブ、あなたの望みは何？あ、望みですか？簡単で明快でこの上なくシンプルなものです。
She was fed up with them, with both those foolish men who embarked on pilgrimages only to return mad, and with the angels and demons that remained faithful to God despite his absence. She was fed up with the foolish angels singing odes of bliss, as well as the very God that succumbed to madness.
うんざりなんです。世界すべてに。
Neither the beauty and majestic sceneries of nature, nor its adorable little critters could move her heart any longer. She hoped for snow to pile forever, covering the entire surface of the world under ice. She hoped for waters to rage and for oceans to swallow the vain earth. She hoped for angels and demons and humans, for everyone to disappear.
滅んでしまえばいいんです。こんな世界は。世界最初の女として、そのくらいの権利はあると思います。
She smiled at me.
でも、天道様がいる以上、もはやどうしようもありませんか？
She let out a deep sigh. It seemed like she had already given up on her
ア
plan.
ダム、命令します。立ち上がって私を殺しなさい。
What? Adam slowly rose to his feet, but as Raziel and I tried to rush to his side and stop him, Messenger appeared in our way.
メッセンジャー、あなた。これで全て終わるはずです。しばらくお待ちを。
She pointed her lightning rod at us, indicating that she wouldn't let us pass without a fight. Even if I chose to fight Messenger but now, by the time I defeated her, the situation behind her back would no doubt be over. We had no choice but to grit our teeth and observe. Adam closed in on Eve, one step at a time. As if having calculated the distance of his every step with utmost precision, he marched forward at a perfectly even pace, his gait completely without anxiety. Eve, with a satisfied smile on her face, seemed to be eagerly awaiting for his arms to reach out for her neck. Adam's weapon was still with Tendao Setsuna, and since the only order he received was to kill, it was likely he would choose either to strangle or to outright break her neck. It would probably hurt quite a lot, which was one concept Eve still found positively unpleasant. She still wanted to destroy the world. Her death would still be one colored with regret. But it would finally end. She didn't truly want it to end, but it would. She didn't truly want to die, but she would.
さあ、アダム。
Adam stopped in front of Eve. She steeled her heart and closed her eyes. If she died in the present state of the universe, her soul would probably dissipate into nothingness like mist. She would disappear without any means to come back. She suddenly realized she was shaking, but why? Was she still afraid to die? After all this time, even after everything she did, she was still afraid of death.
貴様ね。
死ぬと考えれば誰だって怖いものだ。
She couldn't help but open her eyes again. Adam stood in front of Eve absent-mindedly, his arms resting calmly at his sides, instead of going for her neck.
アダム、
Puzzlement overcame her.
なんだ。
先ほどの命令を。
断る。
Ah. He firmly rejected her order.
どうして？
Adam let out a deep sigh of exasperation.
どうしても何も 嫌だからに決まっているだろ
そういう問題ではなく、
う。お前にひざまずくことも、お前の靴を舐めろと言われたなら、自身の感情はともかくとして従おう。だが、お前を傷つけることだけは絶対にしない。
Eve stared at him, having been left completely speechless.
それが夫婦というものだろう。
Aww.
何が違う？
私とあなたはそんな関係じゃない。そうじゃないの。夫婦なんかじゃなかった。愛してなんかいなかった。利用していただけ。そうでしょ？
What was he talking about? She made him so he would obey her like a slave. She had been manipulating him like a puppet from the very start. Yet Adam remained perfectly
お
composed.
前がそう思っていなかったとしても、俺はそう思っていた。
やめて。やめてよ。お願いだから。私を殺して。殺しなさい、アダム。
断る。
愛してなんかない。
俺はお
Aw.
前を
嘘つかないで。愛してないと言ってください。
ついているつもりはない。
Aw. Tears welled up in Eve's eyes, and as if having been returned thousands of years back to her youth, she began sobbing like a little
お
child.
願い。やめて。もうやめて。私はあなたを操っていた。たばかっていた。それでいいんです。許されなくていいんです。
許すも許さないも、俺は最初からお前のことを全て許している。俺はお前の夫だ。至らない部分が多々あっただろうが、それでも俺はお前の夫として作られた。お前が世界全てを敵に回すほどに許されない罪を犯したとしても、俺はお前を許す。それがお前の夫としての務めだからだ。そして俺はお前を守りたいと思っている。
He never truly felt alive. He knew his mission from the moment he was born, and acknowledging it, he promptly proceeded to move forward. Did he ever truly live? Thinking the question is irrelevant, he had sealed it in the deepest layer of his heart. What was he living for? What was the reason he kept living on? His devotion to God? Or to someone he had never met? Indeed, telling himself that he lived for God, Adam made it his raison d'etre. A big fat liar, the biggest in the entire world. He tricked himself, tricked others, even the girl he loved. He never really cared about God nor the angels. He never even cared about his children much. All he wished for was to protect the girl that had been his other half. There was no complex reason for it. He didn't feel he had to do it. It was instinct. It was the first and only desire that had ever visited his heart. The question of forgiveness mattered little to him. So what if she betrayed him? All was right as long as he wasn't the one doing the betraying. She could have used him manipulating him till the end of his days, and he still would not have minded. Hence, he couldn't understand the reason behind Eve's tears. He only ever wished for her to smile.
アダム。
With her tears finally dried up, Eve stopped trying to evade the gaze of her husband and looked him straight in the eye.
アダムは私の夫なのですね。
そうだ。
Eve gave him a deep look. It was probably the first time in her life that she had ever gazed at someone for this long.
なら、私はあなたに恋をしてもいいですか？
She felt embarrassed by her own words all of a sudden. She had always dreaded putting her feelings into words.
あなたは私に恋をしてくれますか？
くれるも何もとうにしているよ。
Ah. Another teardrop traveled involuntarily down her cheek. Everything had finally become clear to her. He had always loved her. And so she silently asked him for one last wish.
ならば私と一緒に滅んでくれますか？
それがお前の望みならば。
Not a trace of hesitation clouded Adam's voice. Eve chuckled to herself. Joy from having her wish fulfilled, sorrow from getting him involved in her silly scheme. She poured out everything that had been weighing on her soul, and now she smiled at Adam with a final wish on her lips.
アダム、私の最後のわがままを聞いてください。天道刹那、傀儡空見を殺してください。世界を滅ぼしてください。
Kinda had a feeling that was gonna happen. Adam gave her an affectionate smile.
ああ、それがお前のわがままならば喜んで叶えよう。俺はお前の夫だからな。
I figured. Following a few moments of hesitation, Adam placed his hand on Eve's head, stroking her hair with a series of slightly awkward, inexperienced movements. Once finished, he turned around, facing us again.
メッセンジャー、お前はラジエルを抑えろ。俺が天道刹那を殺すまではな。お前が本当は誰に仕えているかなどわからないが、今は俺の言葉に従ってくれ。
わかりました。
Caught off guard by the sudden request, Messenger couldn't help but nod at the regal tone Adam's voice carried. And so, Adam faced Tendao Setsuna, who still wore a detached look on his face.
アダム、君はその道を選ぶのか？
I'm gonna end it here. Feel free to hate me. Just feel free to hate me. But, considering where we are at, I am expecting a hell of just one hellish battle. And I don't know how long it's going to last. It better fucking last more than 5 minutes. I'm just gonna say that much. So, I'm guessing the next recording will probably be the final, well, the true ending to Sormi's route. But, you know what? I'm not at all surprised by Eve's request, honestly. I probably should have had that feeling that was how it was going to end, regardless. You know what? I can't really hate them. I can't hate Eve, I can't hate Adam, I just can't hate them. So, if you did like this, be sure to let me know. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. First off, again, I will apologize for the shortened span. So, see you guys in the next video.